Hello everyone, this is Charles coming to you with my week 6 summary. So this week we started off with values of creative disobedience, and this is an article basically really informative, and the author had mentioned when students had asked her questions, she would say, "I'm not sure, what do you think?" Now this actually I can relate to because when I was growing up, my dad would um, give the same response when I would ask him a question. And now that I've gotten older, I've realized that he's basically guiding me in a direction so that I can basically teach myself. Yeah, and this was a really great idea, this article. And then we go into responding to engage me and enrage me discussion, and I was able to respond to 8 of those. And then we go into our controversial debate. Now this was really fun to do because I was able to learn a lot from this. I did human cloning would be scientifically efficacious, and basically there's pros and con sides on this. They both had great arguments. The pro side would argue that you can prevent diseases, cure diseases, create synthetic organs, and such and such. Whereas a con side says, there are many risks that come with this. The success rate of actually making this happen is very low, and it was overall very interesting to learn about, especially the experiments that were conducted through this. And I highly recommend that you read that. So it's really interesting. And then we'll go into our neat resource, lunar landing. Now, this was really interesting. I really enjoyed lunar landing topic overall because, as you can see, I posted a link which led to this webpage, and this basically gave Apollo 11's 1969, I believe, when they first landed on the moon, and it shows like the different gravity compared to us living on Earth. And it was interesting because you guys see them land on the moon, them stepping on the moon for the first time, planting our American flag overall. Then we go into our final SKA. Now I always had found SKA very 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 interesting because of the types of equations that we would do, especially here. So that's one of my, and here's the other one. And these are challenging, but once you get through them, and you're able to understand it, you're able to learn so much because it shows how the velocity and acceleration can affect overall motion. And then we go into our chapter 18 through 20. So in chapter 18, it was based off lunar landing. We started off with a simple code, creating a simple rocket ship, and overall. And then as we got further in, here's the code. So as we got further in, we were able to create a game, and depending if you landed correctly or not, you would win or lose. And as you can see, I lost because I didn't land directly on the red. So yeah, that was really really interesting, but yet really hard to do. And then for chapter 19, we went into the basketball, recording the motion using tracker. And this is a motion of a basketball, as you can see. And here's some graphs that we would look at, the X versus T. Alright. And then the velocity of X versus T. And then last but not least, the velocity of Y versus T. And we were able to calculate, the different velocities, acceleration of the basketball. And then the last chapter, I believe, one moment. Chapter 20 is when we did Angry Birds. So for this one, it was basically not done for us, but given to us because we weren't able to record the complete motion of the Angry Bird due to the zooming in and out of this video. And so by doing this and watching it and changing the different variables, we were able to record, the radius of the in meters of the actual bird, the overall motion, the velocity. And here's another one. So as you can see, it zooms back in by this time. So yeah, and another video or another picture. So overall, this week was really intense because of all the time that we had to put in. It was a lot of work, but yeah, we learned so much due to all these different types of assignments that we got to do. But yeah, see you next week.